My name is Judi Schiff, and I've been involved with B'nai B'rith since I was a teenager. I joined B'nai B'rith Youth in Melbourne in the 1950s, shortly after it was established, and went through that organisation. And when Peter and I married, we joined Sir John Monash Lodge in Sydney, because Peter's parents had been in that lodge for a long, long time already, and so we joined.
My name is Peter Schiff. I joined B'nai B'rith in 1953 as a member of BBY, the B'nai B'rith Youth Organisation, and I joined B'nai B'rith because my parents had been members previously, and they thought that I should join some youth organisation, so I chose B'nai B'rith. Before we established the Raoul Wallenberg unit, I had, as Judi has mentioned, was already a fairly long-standing member of Melbourne Lodge, and in fact I was the president of Melbourne Lodge in the early 1970s, 1974, 1975. Then we moved to this unity unit concept, and then on to Raoul Wallenberg unit, which was set up in 1985. And again, I was the foundation president in the first year of the existence of Raoul Wallenberg unit. And I think without exception, I've been on the executive almost ever since. Most recently, I was the president the year before last. So in the meantime, there were 19 or 20 other presidents. So my involvement has sort of come full circle. But I think the Raoul Wallenberg episode, if I can call it that, from 1985 to the present and continuing on, is probably the highlight of my 60 years with B'nai B'rith, even though this one's only gone for 25.
Satisfying project for me was the stamp project, the Raoul Wallenberg stamp sheet, which was launched in 2010. We had a connection to Mr. Max Stern, who has been running a stamp dealership in Port Phillip Arcade in Melbourne since I was a girl, and he is still an active working man at 90-something. He plays soccer every week, and he goes overseas all the time for his business and for expos of stamps, and he's an amazing man. He was the contact to Australia Post. So we put together a stamp sheet, and that has been selling. We had 1,000 stamp sheets in 2010, 1,000, and now we have just under 100 left. So we have raised quite a lot of money through that project, and the money goes towards our teachers program, where we send the teachers the Pauline Glass Yad Vashem study grants, in which we send the teachers to Yad Vashem for a few weeks in January each year, and then they come back and teach what they learnt about the Holocaust in their schools. And that has a sort of a ripple effect, because the children learn about the Holocaust in the school, then they go home and tell their parents, and their parents discuss it, and then they go out and talk about it, and it's a really a fantastic project. In 2012, Raoul Wallenberg unit wrote to the Attorney General Mark Dreyfus and suggested that Raoul Wallenberg be made an honorary citizen of Australia, as Raoul Wallenberg already was an honorary citizen of other countries like America, Canada, Israel, and Budapest. Not Hungary, but Budapest. And so the letter was written, and Mr. Dreyfus took up the idea. And we had already suggested this idea over many years, and other people did too. I wasn't the only one. We weren't the only ones in Raoul Wallenberg to do that. But the official response was always that nobody could be made an honorary citizen of Australia because we don't have a category for that to happen. And I am not one to take no for an answer, and I kept trying. And so one day when I had a little time on my hands was when I wrote to Mr. Dreyfus. And so apparently it didn't fall on deaf ears on that occasion. Mr. Dreyfus, being a lawyer, took it up, and he actually wrote some letters, and I guess he might have made it happen legally. That, I mean, it would have needed some legal documents to be established to make a thing like that happen. And finally it did happen. On the 6th of May this year, members of Raoul Wallenberg unit, including Peter and me, were at Government House in Canberra by the lake on a beautiful sunny day, and the Governor-General, Quentin Bryce, officially declared Raoul Wallenberg an honorary citizen of Australia. The first and only honorary citizen of Australia. There is no other honorary citizen of Australia, and there never has been.